This is probably one of my favorite things that I've made all year. If you're a reader who wants your book ready and available next to your bed, need something to keep your mail organized and sorted next to the door, or if you just need a little more storage around the house, then this is perfect for you. For this project, I'm using Hobby Ribbon yarn, which is 100% cotton, bulky weight yarn. You can use any kind of yarn weight you'd like for this, but I'd recommend using cotton to help minimize the stretching over time. I'm using an 8mm hook for my project. You'll also need scissors, tapestry needle, optional stitch marker, and 2 sticks of some kind. I literally just went outside and found these, which I think look really cute, but you can also use dowel rods, short little poles, chopsticks. You just need 2 sticks. But let's get started. We're gonna make this from the bottom up, so I decided I want this stick to be the one that'll be in the front. We're gonna start by making a slip knot, and then we're gonna attach it to the stick. First, we need to figure out how to hold all of this though. We want to start on the right hand edge of the stick, and we want it to be on top of the working yarn. When you're ready, yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook, then pull the tail to make it nice and tight. Now we're going to work single crochets around the stick. We want it to cover the whole stick, and it needs to be a multiple of 4 plus 1 at the end. So to make your single crochet, we're going to bring our hook under the stick and pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through both loops. It feels really awkward to hold and can be kind of tricky to keep a nice even tension, so don't be afraid to redo it a few times as practice. But just continue to single crochet around the stick until it's pretty much covered, and don't forget it needs to be a multiple of 4. So I'm doing 20 plus 1 more at the end, so I did 21 for mine. Alrighty, we're going to consider that our foundation row, and once you're ready, we're going to get started on row 1. Begin by chaining 1 and turning your work. Work a single crochet into the first stitch, and now chain 5. We're going to skip 3 stitches and work a single crochet into the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then repeat that all the way to the end. Chain 5, skip 3, and work a single crochet into the 4th. I'll do another few with you, and then I'll meet you at the end. Row 2. Now we're going to chain 5 and then turn our work. We want to work a single crochet into the 3rd chain of our previous chain 5. And we're going to do it in the back bumps of the chains. So look at all these little dashes, find the middle one, and make a single crochet. Then chain 5 again and work a single crochet into the third chain of the next chain 5. And you're going to repeat that all the way to the end where I'll meet you to finish the row. Alrighty, once you're at the end, we're going to chain 2 and work a double crochet into the last stitch. And this is the last single crochet of the previous row. So find that and work a double crochet. And if you need a refresher on a double crochet, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through the last 2. And now it's time for row 3. Chain 1 and turn your work. And we're going to make a single crochet into the very first stitch. Then chain 3 and make a single crochet into the third chain of the next chain 5. And keep repeating that all the way to the end. Chain 3, single crochet into the third chain of the next chain space. Chain 3, single crochet into the third chain of the next chain space. Keep going and I'll meet you at the end to finish the row. Once you reach the end, you're going to chain 3 again, and this time we're going to make a single crochet into the chain space. You can work it into the third chain of the turning chain if you'd like, but I think it's a bit hard to find and this works just as well. And now it's time for row 4. Chain 3 and turn your work. This chain 3 does count as a stitch. We're going to work 3 double crochets into the chain 3 chain space. So there's my first one, and now I'm going to work 2 more double crochets into this chain space. Once you're ready, we're going to work 4 double crochets into the next chain space. And just continue working 4 double crochets into every chain space except the last one where we'll work 3 double crochets. So keep going and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Awesome, so I did my 3 double crochets, and to finish the row, all we're gonna do is make a double crochet into the very last stitch. So easy. And now it's time for row 5. Chain 1 and turn your work. And we're gonna make a single crochet into the very first stitch. Now chain 5. And we're going to work a single crochet in between the 2 blocks of double crochets. So if it's not super obvious to you, you can kind of pull them apart and find that space. Just right there in that space between them, work a single crochet. Now continue chaining 5 and working a single crochet in between the blocks of double crochets all the way to the end where I'll meet you to finish. Awesome, so once you've reached the end and worked a single crochet between the final blocks, chain 5 again, and we're going to work a single crochet into the turning chain. Find a loop of the last chain and make a single crochet. If you do it in the turning chain space, then it'll turn out a bit gappy, so just find a loop and single crochet. And now it's a 4-row repeat from here. The instructions are on the screen, so you can pause here or take a screenshot, and you're just going to keep repeating rows 2 to 5. For my project, I'm going to be repeating it 4 times, but you might have to do it more or less depending on your yarn intention. But keep going until you're happy, and then I'll meet you to attach it to our other stick. Here's mine all finished. How pretty is it? To finish it, we're going to start by chaining 1 and turning our work. Now grab your second stick and place it on top of our working yarn. We're going to be attaching with single crochets. So insert your hook into the very first stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Right now it won't feel like you're attaching the stick, but that's going to be fixed by yarning over again and pulling through both loops on your hook. And so now it's a bit more anchored in. Now insert your hook into the next chain space, yarn over and pull up a loop and finish the single crochet as normal. Repeat that 2 more times in this chain space for a total of 3 single crochets in the chain space. Now insert your hook into the next single crochet and work a single crochet around the stick. And continue on just like that all the way across. Work 3 single crochets into every chain space and 1 single crochet into the single crochet from the previous row. And now we're going to finish the row by inserting a hook into a loop of the previous turning chain and make our last single crochet. And so you should have the same number of single crochets on this stick as you do on your first stick. I started with 21 single crochets and I'm ending with 21 single crochets. Once you're all done, you can chain 1 and fasten off. And now we're going to make our little connecting straps. Alrighty, so I already did my first one, as you can see. We're going to be doing this in a super simple way. Start by making a slip knot and popping that on your hook. We're going to start at the bottom and we're going to slip stitch in this space right here next to this single crochet on the end. It doesn't really matter where you make the single crochet as long as it's right on the edge and on the inside of the work / inside of the stick. And now you're just going to chain, chain, chain. The exact number depends on how many repeats you did, as well as yarn and tension, but you want it to be about the length of half your holder. So I only had to do 12 for mine, and when I fold this in half and kind of stretch it a little bit, it's just about the same length. And now we're going to attach it to the top stick, and we're going to do it the same as the bottom. Find a space along the edge, whether it's in the nearest single crochet or right below. Just make sure wherever you're working it that you do it in the same spot on the other side. Once you're ready, then chain one, and we're going to slip stitch in every chain until we reach the bottom. I'm just going to do it in one of the top loops and just keep going all the way to the bottom, slip stitching in every single one. This is going to thicken it and give it just a little bit more strength. Once you reach the bottom, then you can slip stitch into a stitch along the stick just to fully secure it. And then you can chain one and fasten off. And I'm just going to double knot some of these loose strands, again, just for a little bit of extra strength. And now let's make the strap to hang it. You can just use plain yarn if you'd like, but I'm just going to do a really quick, easy chain. Start by making a slip knot and popping it on your hook, and we're going to slip stitch into the very first single crochet on the top stick. And now chain, chain, chain. Just keep going and seeing how it looks, and once you're happy, then you can slip stitch into the last single crochet on the stick. And then chain one and fasten off. Now all that's left to do is weave in our ends. Just weave as normal. Bring it to the inside of the hanger and go through nearby stitches. You might have to go through some chains, but just keep going up, down, all around until they're all hidden. And that's it. I'm so obsessed with how this came out. Kind of reminds me of macrame in a way. Super fun and boho-ish. I really hope you love yours too. Please let me know down in the comments if you have any questions or problems that you're running into, and I'll try my best to help you out. If you want to help support my channel, then you know the drill. Like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe and turn notifications on. I post 2 tutorials every week, so you don't want to miss out. Thanks again so much for watching, and as always, happy crocheting and stay lucky. Bye!